Well, we are actually here in this diaspora transition. We have a mother, we have a sister that is here also with us. She has been visiting Africa for a very long time. So, guess what, Lady Jo, we have the chance to also interview her on our channel. So, well, can you just introduce yourself to us?
Okay,
Why you
sure.
came to Africa?
My name is Shirley Weber, and I've come to Africa several times. First time I came out of curiosity, like most folks, and I brought some children with me because they had challenged me to take them to Africa, so I did that. And so I came the first time, and I fell in love with Ghana. And I've traveled to maybe 20 or more different African countries over the last 20, 25 years. But I found Ghana, the Ghanaians, to be warm and welcoming, respectful, easy to work with, and always with a good smile and a good spirit about what's going on around them. So I really like the people of Ghana. They really are very friendly people.
Well, so far so good. Can you just list out the countries that you've been so far in Africa?
Wow, it's hard for me to do. I've been to so many. If I start at the top, I visited Morocco. I've been to Senegal, Ghana, Togo, Benin. I've been to South Africa many times. I've been to Zambia, Zimbabwe, uh, Botswana. I've been to Egypt a couple of times. Some of these places, like South Africa, I've been probably for the last 10 or 11 years because I had a program that I used to take kids to South Africa when I was a professor at the university in California.
Well, you speak well about Ghana precisely. What is so special about Ghana compared to these other African countries that you've also visited so far?
Well, I think being in Ghana, particularly because of the history of African Americans and the slave trade and those kinds of things, you African Americans from the states have a different level of affinity to Ghana. We look at the ocean and realize that's the path that our ancestors took. We can identify with many of the similar challenges that are there. So when you go to Ghana, you feel like you're coming home. Also, the colonization that occurred in Ghana was not as deep in terms of cultural infusion or elimination, I should say. So when you go to Ghana, you see African in African clothes, enjoying African music, enjoying that. When you go to some other places, you have to search to find Africa in those places because many of them have given up their culture in order to assimilate into something else. So the west coast of Africa still has a tremendous amount of African, what we perceive as African values and principles in it in comparison to Morocco, which is different. Egypt, that's a little bit different, and it blends. You have to go down to the northern part, southern part really of Egypt to really get into the African American community. When you enter Ghana, you're there from the moment you arrive. And so that grabs you a lot much more sometimes than some of the other places. I love South Africa. I've been there many, many times doing programs and research. But you have to find Africans in South Africa because of the colonization and the taking over of so much land there that you really have to kind of navigate. You first would find it when you go to Soweto and other places like that in Alexandria, but it's not as pervasive as it is here.
Well, so tell me, what coming to Africa, maybe you need to consider so many things before coming to Africa. So, as you were visiting these African countries, what are some of the things that you considered before visiting Africa or coming to Africa?
Well, one of the things I wanted to understand, and I tell this to folks who travel with me, if you come to Africa, you find Africa. You don't find the United States. And I say that because sometimes we come here looking for what we're accustomed to at home, whether it's the type of research of whether it's the type of resources that a place has or something else, or they don't do it just like you normally do it. And I always tell anybody who travels with me, if they complain that I said, you need to go home to find what you're looking for, which is back in the United States. This is a totally different experience. And once you understand that and you embrace it, you really have a wonderful time.
Guess what? I have to be fair with you. We are the fact that we are promoting Africa. The United States also have something that is also good that we Africans can also learn from them.
Most definitely.
So, in your own point of view, what are some of the things that if you think we bring from America to Africa, we also help Africa?
Well, I think the things that people see that we have is obviously a tremendous amount of infrastructure and technology, and I think folks will eventually people from Ghana who come like that. They like that it's easier sometimes to do things or have access to it, and that has certain values to it that's there. And so I encourage folks to come and to learn what we've learned in terms of assimilating into technological issues and things like that. Not necessarily the value system that we take, because you have a strong family system. We have a family system in the African American community that's relatively strong, but it's not in every community that we know. So we're learning a lot from you, and you're coming to get technology from us in the way in which we do business and how we grow our communities. Those things are really, really important. And so I think people come and get that, but eventually they have to understand that in addition to getting that, they also need to get sometimes the other value system that we have that we can get from Ghana. And so I don't have, when I go places, I don't go to take myself to them. I go to enjoy them. And so I don't feel like I come here because I have so much to offer Ghana. I come here because I think there's something to be offered everywhere we go. And if we're smart enough and quiet enough, we'll listen and find it. You know.
So far, so good as you are in Ghana now.
Yeah, because I've been so many times. My family, friends have visited. I just enjoyed Ghana. I've been to a few things that we normally go to. They went to the museum, the African Museum. We've been into the shopping areas. They've also been to Du Bois Center and Nkrumah Center. Those things are really important for them. Most of the folks who are here with me, there's close to 33 people who are here. They've never, only one of them, two have actually been to Ghana before. So for many of them, this is a new experience. It's an actual experience. And I ended up coming here because I came because my daughter wanted me to bring my grandsons. She said, I want them to see you and Africa to see you together. So my grandsons, I came for that reason. Otherwise, I'd probably be somewhere else. But I came to Ghana because they wanted to come to Ghana with their grandmother. And I brought some other friends because they have been bothering me for years to bring them to Africa.
So actually, I would say you are kind of a tourist person, bringing people.
Yes, but I'm not a tour guide. What has happened is that there's so many people in the United States who are friends of mine and others. There's so many people who would love to come to Africa, but they don't know how. They don't know how to get here. They may have resources, but they don't know anybody that's organizing a trip or some people that they can go with. And because I have such a large base of friendships and colleagues, I've probably brought thousands of people to Africa over the last 25 years, at least anywhere from 500 to 1,000. Because I brought students, I brought faculty members, I brought community leaders, I brought young kids, and I brought them to Africa actually for them to experience this continent that they've learned, that they know so much about in terms of as they see it, but really don't know it in terms of personal. So all the ones who came wanted to come. I have one friend of mine who has been wanting to come, and she's legally blind, but she's traveling with us, and we're taking care of her while she's here. So because she wanted to see Africa the way that she sees it, so she's with this group, and she can hear and smell and feel and everything else. She wanted to see Africa her way. So she's with us, and we're taking care of her to make sure that she's okay while she's here. But no, she's legally blind.
She's just gonna have the feeling of Africa.
She's gonna have the feeling of Africa and everything that it has to offer. So she'll feel it. I have another friend who's in her 80s, and she had been dying to come to this West Coast. I took her to South Africa some years ago, but she wanted to come to West Coast to see what the West Coast, what Ghana was all about. So this is her first trip.
Oh, so what was the budget about you coming to Africa? Like, can you share with me your budgets, your financial budget?
I don't really have a financial budget. Everyone who comes is able to basically pay their own way. It's not that expensive. It's expensive, but not that expensive. But I work with travel agents. I work with Sun Seekers here in Ghana. You probably know about Sun Seekers, one of the largest tourist groups. And then I work with a tour guide in California, out of Chicago. And so I get in touch with them. Kwame puts me in touch with folks, and they create a package. And depending on where you want to stay and how long you want to be here, there, whatever the cost is there. I always tell folks, people generally they have to wait a long time to save money to come to Africa. And that's good. But it's really good to come to Africa when you really can experience Africa, because you don't have all these rules and regulations about ADAs and steps and this, because it's living out in it. And so the interesting thing is that so we have a wide range of folks who come. We've got couples with us. We've got an older couple. We've got a somewhat younger couple. Some of them are work for me in SAC, and because they wanted to come, so they knew I was coming, asked if they come. I don't think I've ever been here but once, but not by myself, just with one other colleague of mine at the university. But generally when I come, I've had to the continent. I've had anywhere from maybe 20 to 25. I think my largest group was about 50 to 60 when I went to South Africa one year.
So specifically, like how much do you spend? If you could tell me I'm sure about it.
You know, the person, it depends. Like I said, it depends on how you want to come. If you came first class on the ticket, first class tickets range anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. First class. But if you just get a regular ticket, a coach ticket, it's about $2,200. If you and then depending on where you stay, like I said, if you stay, we stayed at the Labadi Beach, which is 5-star. But if we had stayed, I've stayed at the Novotel before and some other places, and it's a little bit cheaper. I think the first time I came to Africa, the cost was about $2,800 that included airfare and hotel. We stayed downtown at the Novotel, and we had just as much fun as if we were staying somewhere else, you know. And that time I brought some young people because, like I said, they wanted to come to Africa, and they were poor kids. I brought kids to Africa who have never been on a plane before. And then they took a trip to South Africa, which was 17 hours between New York and South Africa. And it was their first time on a plane.
Wow. First time on a plane.
And they did just fine. They were wonderful. They were wonderful. Yeah. Because like I said, so I've been to programs with my tour aid guide. Mostly, about half of my travel has been with the university and going in with programs, taking young people to noble programs, bringing folks to do science projects with the University of Cape Coast. So I've had a lot of those levels of experience as well as just coming for fun.
So now that you are in Ghana, you are in Africa now for the past 25 years, do you intend to also establish something in order for you to earn a living whenever you come to Africa?
You know, I don't really need to at this point. I've done careers before and I've done jobs and I've had lots of them. I have jobs now that if I wanted to, I could. I had made up my mind to do that. I had been looking to do something similar to that when another opportunity in California opened up for me, and so I went to do that for a while. But, you know, I still have a friend who has a house here in Cape Coast, and so I always look maybe to do something in Cape Coast or to go to the I haven't really decided.
Well, you know, most of the diasporas of the African Americans, whenever they come to Ghana, always wanted to be in the diaspora communities. And so forth. They don't want to learn this Ghanaian culture. They don't want to learn this, like, they just don't want to mingle with the people within the community. So, in your own point of view, do you think this kind of situation is going to make them learn the culture in Ghana, or maybe it's also going to be like, let's go to Africa, or came to Ghana to just enjoy themselves or anything like that?
Well, I think there'll be a combination of both. You know, I would hate to go to any place and not get to know the people. I think a part of the travel experience, a part of the getting to meet other people, getting here, is really to meet the people, because that's what it is. It's not about dirt and bushes. I mean, everybody's got dirt and trees and all those things, but it's how those individuals have taken that and created a world for themselves, created a life for themselves, and helped themselves to grow, and help their families to grow, and and help the society to become better. So it's not really a matter of just geography, because I can find oceans like this in California or in New York or in Florida or Texas. I can find oceans that are roaring in different places of the world. But and how you interact with that is different than someplace else. But the people are what makes it. I come and I kind of learn how people survive. I admire the challenge that people have, and not wanting to, not having all the easy things of life, but have the things that are essential. So I learned a lot about that. I've learned a lot about people's families and how to care for each other. I've learned about how you guys care for each other. That you can take young people, or you can take your family, enhance your family, and enhance your extended family, and give to them. And so those things are things that I come to learn about, and that have been a part of my life. Whether it's helping my family immediately, helping my extended family, helping young people who I just met who really need a role model, who need some help, who need some support in California, maybe former students of mine or something like that. So you learn that as a part of your one family and one group of people, and the values that you have are shared across, and you never ever you're never lonely because of all the folks that you know.
Right. Yeah. Well, I just want to push you on your toe. I just want to ask you two questions, and I know you can answer. Let's hope. The first question is: you've been in Ghana for while now, so maybe it's more like capacity of Ghana.
Yeah, know the capital? Star?
Yeah. So now the next question, when we close our interview, is we've been in Ghana for a very long time. So we have tasted this food and so forth. We have a favorite list. So maybe if you can prepare that food, and maybe if you can also name the food that we tasted so far that is locally made, you think we can also prepare it.
Well, I've had a lot of locally made food. I haven't had much to eat since I've only been here for 2 days since I've been back. So I don't know, but I have made African food. I know your what is it? A peanut chicken, a black peanut stew. I've made that many times. And different activities as well as different appetizers that are from Africa, stuff, we stuff from eggs, all those kinds of things. And there are a couple of African or local African restaurants there in California and in across the United States. So I don't really have a favorite food as such, but I enjoy I enjoy each dish is different. It's not the same thing. Each one is different. I want to introduce you to where's Kadir and Jalil. These are my grandsons. Come over here, you guys. Come quick. Come now. Yes. This is my grandson. There's a camera looking at you into a camera. And here's my grandson, Akil. Kadir. Come here, Kadir. So we're making a video. They want to know what's happening. So I told them it's your first trip to Ghana. You came because your mother wanted me to welcome you to Ghana. And so hopefully you're having a good time. It's nice out here.
Right.
We were just putting on the ocean. It's really nice. So they're here to learn. They're here to learn and appreciate.
So what would you tell people out there now watching you on my channel?
I always tell people that when you wanted to go somewhere and you want to travel, you should do it. Because traveling will enhance your view of the world, enhance what you have to offer. And so as a result, I tell people to travel. That it's not a frightening thing. And if you don't know, call a travel agent to go. But the beauty is that if you travel when you're young and agile enough, you'll be able to experience everything. I tell my friends that because we're all at an advanced age now. And I'm glad I traveled 25, 30 years ago because some of the experiences I had back in those days, I could not have had them today because of the challenge of either crawling somewhere or doing something or jumping over something that I had to jump over. I'm not at that level anymore. I think that your mother, my daughter is here. This is her second trip. But all of these come from different places. There's a young gentleman here with his two sons. They're freshmen in college. That is Reggie is my deputy. So it's a lot of different folks that are here from different areas in government and all around that want to basically be a part of this. Dennis, a friend of our family, the gentleman over the blue shirt, this is his first trip to Ghana.
Well, actually, Dennis is kind of a director to me. She's directing my video and everything. So, Dennis, thank you very much. Yeah. You guys are directing my camera for me, so.
And many of them, this is their first trip.
Okay.
So there's only a couple of us that have actually been here before.
All right. So thank you very much.
No problem.
I'm glad to have you on my show.